Hello and welcome back to Mad Hatchet Horror Hour. My name is Madison. This is my padre and my madre.
Joseph.
And
Crystal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And welcome back to Mad Hatchet Horror Hour. This week we are doing our Mad Hatchet horror story. I have a website here. It's called the True Crime Database. That's where I'm getting all my information from. So if you want to read it yourself, then you can just go to that and pick it off of there. But next week we are doing. Wait, should I say that now or later? Should I make them wait?
You can say it at the beginning.
Okay. Next week we are doing Shaun of the Dead, because it's a cult classic.
It's a horror comedy. Some people consider it to be a cult classic, and it's just a good movie. I don't know anybody who's watched it and said that movie was dumb or not worth watching.
So if you want to hear me talk about it with lovely people, go and watch it, and then next week you can just listen about it.
Listen about it. You should see. Actually, you ought to do is tell people where they can stream it or something.
Okay.
Let me help you out with that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna talk while you do that.
You do that.
Okay. So if maybe you never know, maybe you'll become like obsessed with it or something, and then you can just thank me later. Right? Yeah.
Sure.
You can just thank me later. You'll become obsessed with it.
Did you just look at that poster to see how to spell Sean?
Yeah, I didn't know. There's a lot of different ways to spell Sean.
Sean.
Well, it's currently not streaming anywhere for free, but you can rent it on Apple, DirecTV, Amazon, Google Play, YouTube, Voodoo, pretty much anywhere. Yeah. So, there you have it. It is rated R. Horror comedy made in Europe or United Kingdom, actually.
United Kingdom.
But it's violent. No nudity or anything stupid like that, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this week we are doing the Zodiac Killer.
Ew.
I was gonna do that other guy, but I thought this guy was more interesting because he's unsolved still, and people don't know very much about him.
Nope. He is not solved.
And now you know that.
I already knew that.
Oh, did you? You know who this guy is?
Yeah. I don't know the guy personally, but yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I said. Oh. Trying to think how that would work. Okay. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
You stoked,
I was born ready
You
for the
stoked?
Zodiac
You
Killer.
stoked?
I am the
So
Zodiac
stoked.
Killer.
Don't say that. People are still trying to figure out who he is.
It's me. I just told you.
You're
I did the murders back when I was like 15 or something.
You're too. Yeah, this guy.
You would definitely not get away with shit.
No,
yeah,
for
You
sure.
would
this
not be
guy.
unsolved. You would be behind bars.
Like, oh man, evidence and stuff. Like, I ain't got the energy for that.
Yeah, he was doing murders before you were even born, so. Sorry. Not sorry.
It was the past life of me.
Okay, because you were reborn 4 years later.
I was.
Wait,
Anywho.
what year were you born in?
86.
86? That would have been 6 years later, not 4. Okay. One of the most elusive serial killers. Such a fancy word, elusive. Elusive serial killers, the Zodiac is believed to be responsible for already with the not being able to talk thing. Numerous murders throughout the San Francisco Bay Area from 1968 until 1970. Yeah? See?
Yep.
Before you were even born.
1970?
Mm-hmm.
It was like 16 years before I was born. I was born in 86.
Here we go with the math thing
Yeah,
again.
there's a math thing again.
The math thing.
Math.
This doesn't run very good in our family, does it? I know you're not good at math. You can't even remember freshman.
Freshman?
Wow.
You don't even know words.
You know what? I'm better at words than I am at math. So.
That.
She's not even good at words.
I'm great at words. Words. Right?
Right. Words.
Words, am I right?
Word.
Word. Balls.
Balls.
Okay.
Yep.
The Zodiac Killer usually attacked courting couples at isolated areas, binding, then stabbing or ambushing the victims and shooting them dead, leaving few survivors who could offer a description of a killer who enjoyed communicating with police and the press in order to gain recognition for his nefarious crimes. That is a long sentence. But it's still a sentence.
I'm surprised you knew the word nefarious.
Me too.
I read this before, before, just so I knew some of the words in here, because I knew I'd screw it up a lot. Especially things like nefarious.
Nefarious.
Nefarious crimes. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty crazy, man.
What do you think about that? That long
Pretty
sentence.
Wild. That makes, you know what that makes me want to do?
Makes you want to be more stoked?
No, it makes me want to have a drink.
Oh. He says as he takes a sip.
A gulp.
A gulp. Gulp.
Gulp.
Gulp. Gulp. Is that refreshing?
We need to get some ASMR shit going on in here.
I'm gonna go grab my 2020 slime.
Start.
Zodiac sent many letters and complex ciphers to the authorities, daring the authorities to crack his codes and discover his unclaimed victims. By 1974, the Zodiac had claimed 37 victims, but less murders were actually attributed to the killer, despite several earlier crimes dating back to 1963, which appeared... It's talking too much.
She's not good at words. We told you this.
Not good at speaking. Dating back to 1963, which appeared strikingly similar. How do you say similar? How do you say similar?
Similar.
Similar?
There you go.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's not spelled like that. It's spelled with an I, not a U.
Similar.
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 So is it similar or similar? No, stop.
Say whatever.
Similar.
Just screwing with my head. Okay. Lost my place again. Okay, despite several earlier crime. Sorry. Despite several earlier crimes dating back to 1963, which appeared strikingly similar to his which appeared similar to his modus operandi. Guess what that means?
What is it?
Modus operandi. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't think that sounds like a word.
That's what it says. It says modus operandi. Modus
operandi.
Let me see it.
operandi.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Neither do I. That's why I was asking you.
Yep,
Eventually, the communication stopped, and it was believed the Zodiac had either died or was incarcerated. I practiced that word, too.
Incarcerated?
That is an easy word. Do you know what incarcerated means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
And despite hundreds
You don't know
of
what it
years
means,
of
do you?
now,
Incarcerated means going to jail or prison.
I know.
Well, incarcerated just means
God.
put away, essentially. Like,
You continued. You did not know.
I did too. I was
you're like,
just trying
yeah,
to
I
get
know what it
tonight.
means.
Okay.
It's just
Incarcerated, isn't that a flavor of ice cream or something?
it sounds like it. Incarcerated. It sounds like it would be a word for freezing something, like incarcerating it.
Actually, I think it sounds more like burning it, you know what I mean, instead of freezing it. Incarcerate it.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they call it whenever you cremate people?
That's
It
still
reminds
burning.
yeah, I know.
Cremate, incinerate?
Mm-hmm.
Incinerate them?
You cremate them.
Yeah, but they put them inside of an incinerator.
Yeah, but it's cremate. You cremate people
Yeah.
whenever they die.
Yeah, not all
Gruesome
people,
deaths. What?
but not all people, but yes.
You can choose.
They burn bodies in The Walking Dead all the time. Not as much as they used to in the earlier seasons. They usually just burned people that they didn't like. And then they buried people that they did like.
The Walking Dead people.
Sorry. I've been watching it a lot. It's getting to my head. I can't say zombies anymore. All I say is walkers. We're lost, man. Okay, anyways. What word were we talking about? Modus operandi?
Sure, yeah.
Eventually the communication... Nope, we weren't. We were talking about incarcerated. Okay. It was believed the Zodiac had either died or was incarcerated, and despite hundreds of potential suspects, his crimes have so far remained unsolved. Death at Riverside. Death at Riverside? Nobody? Yeah,
You're
me
here
neither.
to tell us.
How many victims did he have?
I'm getting to that.
Alright.
No, I already said it.
I wasn't paying attention.
He claimed 37, but there was only 5.
He claims them?
He claimed 37, but they only found 5 people. Several years before anyone would hear of the Zodiac and his crimes, the murder of a young woman went unsolved in Riverside on Sunday, October 30th, 1966. 18-year-old Cherry Jo Bates was brutally murdered
What
near...
kind of fucking name is that?
Cherry Jo.
Cherry Jo Bates.
She's a stripper.
That's exactly what she sounds like. She sounds like a stripper.
Oh, she's not actually. That's what I was just saying.
I know, that's what she sounds like, though.
Yeah.
But
Or a
she's not.
prostitute.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, I'm Cherry.
Oh,
$20 will get you fun.
Cherry Jo Bates was brutally murdered near a parking lot of the Riverside City College's library just before Halloween.
Because she was hooking.
That's what it sounds like. She had been slashed with a knife across her chest area 3 times. Her chest area, just okay. Once.
Her boobies.
That's what it was. Once on her back and 7 times across her throat, which had been cut so deep she was nearly decapitated. The killer had managed to lure Bates by disabling her lime green Volkswagen and then waiting for her to return to her car.
A lime green Volkswagen? That sounds badass. I want one of those.
Maybe she was a prostitute and that's where she got all that money from.
Maybe.
Sugar daddies.
Sugar daddies, yeah.
Okay, almost a month later, the murderer apparently made contact with police on November 29th, 1966. So that was only a month later. 2 carbon copies of an anonymous letter. Anonymous. Shut up. I can't
Anonymous.
say that word. You
Anonymous.
know that.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Stop.
Do it again. Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Stop.
Stop.
That's a little bit better.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Anonymous.
I can't say that word.
That's fucking great.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Was that it?
That was it.
Do you think
Anonymous.
anonymous when you say
Anonymous.
You're getting the M and the N backwards.
Anonymous.
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 You're like anonymous.
Stop.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Close enough.
Okay. There were 2 carbon copies of letter.
It's funny. She's telling the one story about a man who does something that she can't even pronounce the word of, which is anonymous. Because he sent in a lot of anonymous letters and that. Yeah, anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
So you're gonna have to probably say that word a few more times.
She's
Okay. An ominous letter were sent to Riverside Enterprise and the Riverside Police claiming responsibility for the death of Cherry Joe Bates. The letters sent on April 30th, 1960.
That sounds like somebody watched a bunch of Alfred Hitchcock movies and was like, "Yeah,
I'm doing that.
I'm doing that. Dude, my name. This lady's name is gonna be Cherry Joe Bates."
Is there any diamonds?
Sadly enough.
Cherry Joe Diamond Bates.
Cherry
Don't
Joe
take my word.
Diamond Bates. I'm gonna start calling you that. Cherry Joe Diamond Bates.
No.
They don't even know the history behind the word diamond
I
either.
think diamonds quite good enough.
You need to be closer to the mic. They can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Well, it's
No.
so far up.
I mean, you can move the mic.
It doesn't come back though.
I see you.
I see you too.
Okay, let's go.
Sorry. Staring at me like a weirdo. Okay.
She was staring at me first.
I'm staring at you now. Anyways. The letter sent on April 30th, 1967 to the Riverside Press and Police Department contained a curious symbol which appeared to resemble the letter Z that began with a strange squiggle much like the number 3. The envelopes or envelopes?
Envelopes.
The envelopes were mailed with excessive postage similar to the later letters sent by the Zodiac. It says is twice. Is it possible that Cherry Joe Bates it is possible that Cherry Joe Bates was the Zodiac's first victim.
Now, Cherry Joe Bates is the Zodiac. Boom! Crack the case wide open.
What? She's dead.
Says you. Prove it.
Her dead body's in the ground. There
Prove
was
it.
an autopsy.
Prove it.
Let me just pull up an autopsy. No.
Exactly. She's the killer, dude.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be the plot for Scream 26.
Scream 26. Look at what you did. I lost my place. Shame on... No, I didn't. I was at it all along. The case of the Zodiac Killer began on December 20th, 1968, when 17-year-old David Faraday... These names are complicated. Picked up his girlfriend, 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen, from her home, telling her parents they were going to a Christmas concert. Instead, he drove them to a lover's lane near Lake Herman Road, where they arrived at around 10:40 p.m. Before this time, a witness later reported spotting a light-colored hardtop, possibly a four-door Chevrolet Impala. Impala?
Yeah.
Okay. Which was parked near the gated entrance to the pumping station just off Lake Herman Road at around 9 o'clock p.m. That's a whole lot of information. You guys get all that?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
know
yeah.
They went to
didn't.
Lover's
I know
Lane
you
and they
didn't.
went down by Herman Road.
They were driving an Impala. That's what I
and
got.
They were driving Impala and they got there around 10:45.
I don't know what you guys are... Impala? That was the name of the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chevrolet Impala.
Yeah.
I know what that is.
You said they were driving Impala.
Driving an Impala.
Driving an Impala.
Oh, okay, I get it.
What the fuck?
You raised me.
Oh,
Speak
man.
proper English.
No, obviously not.
Did I, though? Did I really raise her? Or did she maybe fall on her head maybe a few too many times, run into a few too many doors? I mean, I've seen her run into doors before.
I mean,
Still
I
run
on
into
other
doors.
Things, but I won't mention it.
Well, I mean, just, I'm just saying, just continue.
Okay.
Your mom.
Okay, not long after this, a young couple who were parked in Lover's Lane reported another, which passed them heading west towards Vallejo. But then slowly backed up towards them. The driver stared at a young couple, and they felt so ill at ease they immediately drove off towards Benicia. Who knows?
Let me see the word. You're so good at words.
Benicia. I said it right the first time.
Benicia.
It's not Benicia.
Benicia.
And if it is, screw you.
Probably is. Because I'm smarter than you.
Because I'm smarter than you. my name's Dad. The
That's
car.
not my name. That's a title.
It's Padre. Can't do it. Nope. Okay. The car proceeded to follow them until they took the first road exit. While the driver continued east to Lake Herman Road, the same light-colored Chevrolet Impala was seen again by another witness around 10 p.m. This is David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen.
Holy shit, look at that hair.
I know you can't see it, but...
You got like hair that's like... It's like the top of a
Yeah,
strawberry.
It looks like a hat.
Yeah.
And
And
the
then his hair is
dude's
like already receding.
Yeah.
Like
It
back
looks
there,
like
and it's
Alfalfa's
like...
hair.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it does!
Just not sticking up.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the thing in the back.
Yeah,
like,
it's all smooth. Like, it literally looks like a smooth surface. It looks like wood surface. Okay. Maybe he's Pinocchio.
Maybe he's just a
Crack the
dickhead.
case. It was Pinocchio.
Pinocchio? Did you almost say
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio?
Pistachio.
No, maybe it was Pinocchio, though. Maybe that's who did it. No? Who knows? He's still not listening.
Pickles.
What?
Balls.
Balls. Okay. At approximately 11:10 p.m., half an hour after arriving at the same spot as the previous couple, Faraday and Jensen were shot to death. A car had pulled up alongside them, and the driver exited the vehicle and began firing at the couple. From the evidence left at the scene, investigators were able to determine from shell casing and footprints that the killer had likely used either a .22 rifle or a handgun loaded with a .22 LR ammunition and walked up behind the victim's car, shooting the right rear window and then the left rear tire.
I don't understand why these killers and stuff use .22 caliber weapons to kill people. That's not even a potent gun. It's not gonna kill it. It's gonna piss somebody off.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you hit them just right and that bullet bounces around inside of them.
Like, do they want people to know what
Right, like they're just gonna piss somebody off. Like you always hear about them using.
They're literally giving their stuff
Yeah,
away.
22 is like, it's just a little bullet. I mean, it's not shit. It's like, are they on a budget? I don't understand.
Stop.
Like, well, I'm
It's
just
called serial killer.
for real though. Like they're on like yeah, they got like a serial killer like
SCB.
yeah, they got like a serial killer fucking like I don't know stash or something. Like, oh man, I don't want to dip into my serial killer fund, you know. Just I don't understand like why they're always using .22 caliber weapons. Like, break out a .45, dude.
Even a 9.
Yeah, 9mm. Hell, that's a fucking standard issue weapon for police. Use a 9mm. Granted, I don't know what it was back then and that back in the 60s, but
70s.
60s. This is the 60s. Because he was killing for until 70. He stopped
1968, yeah.
until 1970. So I just don't understand why. I just don't get why they were always using .22 caliber weapons. It's so dumb.
They're something on your mic. I don't know what it is.
I guess the only thing I can think is that most standard weapons in homes are 22 caliber weapons because they're cheap and affordable for people to own and to have a gun in their home.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Whatever. I didn't understand it.
I thought they just used a lot of shotguns back then, honestly.
Like everybody's just carrying. Well, this guy's carrying around a 22 caliber rifle. Like,
yeah,
a fucking rifle.
LR.
That's not very concealable either. You know, you can't just stash that by your waist side.
It says or a handgun loaded with 22 LR. I mean,
then they're not very good.
So they can't tell the difference between
I was gonna say.
guns.
Well, what I'm saying is like they're not very good detectives because any kind of forensics would tell you
it was the 60s.
I don't care. They would still know the difference between a handgun and a rifle, based just probably on the sheer distance. Well, no, not the looks, because obviously they probably didn't see the weapon. But I'm saying from the distance that maybe they were shot, the accuracy, things like that. You're gonna get more accuracy out of a fucking rifle than you will out of a handgun.
Or just the bullet, you know.
Well, the bullet, it doesn't matter. The bullet, if it's a rifle or a handgun, it's still going to take a 22 caliber bullet. What I'm saying is the accuracy and things like that would tell you the difference between a rifle and a handgun. With a handgun, you're not going to have the best of accuracy as you would with a rifle.
Maybe he just sucked at aiming.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, so after he shot the tire, he then came around to the front left side, and at this point, the two teenagers were able to exit the passenger side door of, like, Faraday's brown Rambler, or whatever they want to call it, in an attempt to escape. It's believed Faraday was killed by a single shot to the head.
With a fucking 22?
Doubt it.
I mean, probably, I guess, with a 20. If you shot in the head.
Do you think that would be instant, though?
Yeah. If you hit the brain
Right
just
spot.
right, yeah. If anything, you at least make him a vegetable.
While he was standing by the right rear wheel after scrambling out of the car.
Say that 10 times fast. Right rear wheel, right rear wheel.
Right rear wheel, right rear wheel, right rear wheel, right rear wheel.
Right rear wheel, right rear wheel. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it twice.
I did say it twice. I couldn't say it 3 times. Okay. After scrambling out of the car, and although she managed to get out of the car alive, Jensen's body was found 30 feet from the rear bumper. She had been struck by several bullets, 5 of which penetrated the right of her back, either as she was moving or as she lay wounded on the ground. Ooh. In total, 10 bullets had been fired, with 5 hitting Jensen and 2 missing. 1 killing Faraday and the 2 fired into the car. The accuracy of the shots fired seemed to indicate the killer was somewhat competent in the use of firearms, but by no means a skilled marksman. According to the coroner, Jensen was hit from no more than 10 feet away. The gruesome murders would have taken less than a few seconds to commit, and the killer was back in his vehicle and driving away from the crime scene. His escape may have been witnessed by Stella Borges, who described a light-colored Chevrolet Impala heading away from Lake Herman Road towards Benicia, just before she discovered the victims' bodies. Despite a Despite a thorough investigation by Solano County Sheriff's Detective SGT, Les Lundbold, police were unable to determine a motive for the crime, and with few witnesses to the actual murders and no suspects, the Solano County Sheriff's Office case number V25564 hit a dead end. A reward set up by students at the victim's high school failed to garner any new information. Just 6 months later, another couple was viciously attacked in... Sorry, I forgot to read the headline. The Blue Rock Springs attack.
So it took them 6 months to build up another serial killer fund for more 22 bullets.
I guess so. I mean, I don't
Get a job, man.
He does. His job is murdering people.
I can't imagine it pays very well.
No, probably not. Only pays in jail food and, paranoia.
It just depends on how much money they have on themselves at the time.
Yep. Okay, just 6 months later, another young couple was viciously attacked in the parking lot of the Blue Rock Springs Golf Course on July 4th, 1969. Shortly after 12...
6'9".
69.
69.
Shortly after 12 a.m., 19-year-old Michael, oh God help me, Maggie.
Magway?
Let me see. I'm gonna go with Maggio.
A
Maggio.
Maggio, that's that.
There's no O.
Maggio.
Maja.
Or Maju.
Maju.
Maju. I bet it's Maju.
Magua.
No, I bet it's Maju.
Maju. Michael Maju. And his... What were we talking about? On July 4th, 1969, shortly after 12 a.m., 19-year-old Michael Maju and his friend, 22-year-old Darlene Farron, were sat... That sounds like a girl's name, Darlene.
Isn't it?
Darlene?
Maybe?
Let me see.
Know. Oh, it is Darlene.
Darlene? That sounds like a girl's name.
Darlene
Farron were sat in Farron's car when they were shot. They're friends? I don't think they're friends. Were shot by an unidentified assailant.
Maybe they were just going steady.
Assailant? Maju was able to describe the sequence of events to police in the days after the attack. Earlier in the evening, Farron had picked him up from his house at around 11:30 p.m.
Why are you enunciating so vividly? Like, picked him up.
It makes it easier for me to read.
20 different voices this whole time, so
that you get something to eat together. And they're friends? I don't think they're friends.
They might be. They might be going steady. You don't know. Maybe they haven't made it to first base yet.
So they're dating, but they're not on first base.
You don't know that they're dating. Maybe they're just hanging out, trying to feel it out, Maybe she wants to be friends. He don't. Maybe the opposite.
Versa.
Maybe he's gay.
Oh my God, she looks just like the other girl.
So he has a thing for certain types of couples.
Or everybody back in the 60s was just ugly.
No, that definitely looks like the other girl.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the big hair and
just
everything.
a different haircut.
She did fake her death and come back for more.
Her sisters.
Maybe it was Cherry. Maybe she's the one.
I told you, she's faking her death with everyone.
That's what I just said.
Oh, no.
That name sounds very made up. Cherry Joe.
Her real name is
Yeah,
Darlene.
Cherry Joe
What's
Bates.
It gonna be in the
Nuh-uh, because I'm sure this chick's about to die. Watch. Come on, Sorry, I skipped really far ahead. 11:30 to get something to eat together, but Farron said he wanted to talk to him about something. Ooh. They're not friends.
She wants to.
And so they then drove.
She wants to go all the way.
And so they then drove to the Blue Rock Springs Park in Benicia, which was a popular spot with teenagers. When they arrived, Farron switched off the car, headlights, and engine, but left music playing on the radio. At this point, several cars arrived at the parking lot with young revelers hollering, laughing, and throwing firecrackers before driving off soon afterwards. The couple were now alone, again, in the parking lot. I rest my case.
Cherry Joe Bates is the Zodiac Killer. She keeps faking her death, coming back, and doing it all over again.
Until around midnight, when another car, a brown Ford Mustang or Chevy Corvair, drove in from the direction of Vallejo.
Dun dun dun!
The driver pulled up next to Farron's car and turned the headlights. Okay. And the driver turned the headlights off and stayed idle for a moment. Then, what'd we agree on? Maju. Then Maju...
Change it every time. I don't care.
Then Maju asked Farron if she knew the driver, and she replied, "Oh, never mind." Okay. Unsure what she meant by this, but before he could inquire further, the driver pulled away and sped off in the direction of Vallejo. Around 10 minutes later, the driver...
She ain't saying a lot of words correctly.
I know. That's why she gives it like a different slang.
Vallejo.
Vallejo.
It's Vallejo, actually.
Let me see. Vallejo? Vallejo? Fuck
You're
it.
just making it more complicated.
Yeah.
Vallejo. I had it right the first time.
Vallejo.
It's where all the hoes are.
It's where all the hoes are.
Okay. Around 10 minutes later, the driver of the brown car returned and pulled up behind and to the right of Maju.
Behind?
And pulled up behind and to the right of Maju and Farron. This time, leaving his headlights on. The lone occupant,
Shit.
Bless you.
Okay.
The lone occupant then
Path.
It's not funny. The lone occupant then exited his vehicle and walked towards Farron's car, holding what appeared to be a flashlight, holding it at arm's length so it obscured his face. I got a quick question. How do they know all this if they don't even know who the guy is?
Evidence.
But how do they know how he was holding it?
Evidence.
Detectives are pretty good.
They're
They
supposed to
deal
be,
with it all
you
the
know.
time. It's their job. They're gonna know.
Don't ask me why they didn't know which one he used to begin with, a rifle or a handgun, but they know this.
Walking up to the passenger side door, Maju thought the man was an undercover policeman and began to reach for his ID.
Idea? I have an idea. Let me get it for you.
But as he did, the man raised the flashlight at his arms and began firing through the window with a handgun in his other hand. See, they know it's a handgun this time.
Well, yeah, because they can probably tell by the distance, and if he's shooting directly up at the car through the window, he's going to use a handgun, not a rifle.
Yeah.
Mostly because if he's got a flashlight also, then he's not going to be able to hold a flashlight and a rifle.
You don't know.
Maybe he's talented.
Maybe he's got really long fingers. What? I'm just saying.
Okay.
I can hold more things with other people than other people.
I think we need to go back to English, honey.
Need to go back to school. Okay. Firing through the window with a handgun in his other hand, he fired 5 9mm rounds. C is a 9mm this time. at a point-blank range, hitting Maju in the face and his body, some of which tore through his body, hit Farron sitting across from him. Like beside across from him?
Sure.
Okay. At this point, Maju kicked himself into the back seat with another bullet hitting him in his left knee as he did so. The gunman continued to fire at Farron, hitting her several times in each arm, and as she turned away, one struck her in the back. The attacker returned to his car, but then heard Maju cry out in either pain or anger and returned to Farron's car, firing 2 more shots in each of the victims before he got back into his own car and drove away. Question. I thought he was shot in the face. How is he still crying out in pain?
Because he's using a 22.
He's using a 9.
Is that what they said, a 9mm?
9mm bullets.
Oh, I don't know then.
Okay. Maju believed the shots were quiet
So Maju didn't die.
or muffled and that the gunman had used a silencer. However, witness George Bryant overheard the earlier firecrackers and then the volley of shots, telling police the gunshots sounded much louder before the man drove away. Sorry, that's another sentence. Before the man drove away, Maju, who was still conscious, managed to turn on the car's blinkers. Sorry, not blinkers. Car's blinker lights. Yeah. To summon help and then opened the passenger side door and fell out onto the pavement. He saw as the attacker turned his car around and drove out of the parking lot toward Vallejo. He was able to catch a glimpse of the man's profile and later described him to detectives as around 5'8" tall, heavy set but not overweight, fat, and less than 195 pounds. With a large, prominent face, some teenage drivers in the area discovered the car and victims, but could offer little in the way of help, and so alerted police, who were soon on the scene with an ambulance. Did it.
I have a hard time staying awake sometimes.
Well, do you want me to talk in a more interesting voice?
No, it's story time. It's like sometimes I
looked
go to sleep.
over at him.
'Cause I'm like dozing off.
Literally teaching.
Yeah. Story time.
He tried to open his eyes. He's like,
Is that why I looked over and you almost looked high?
Maybe, yeah, probably.
I just happened to notice it too, and I was staring at him like, really?
Fucking over here dozing off.
Sorry,
and shit.
I'll be more interesting. Hold on. Maju was taken.
We don't have any more time to hold on, honey. Daddy's gonna be passed out snoring.
Okay. We're almost done.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh God. Okay. Maju was taken directly to surgery, where doctors were able to save his life. He would remain in constant pain after the incident and undergo medical treatment for his injuries, but help came too late for Darlene Farron, who died in the ambulance on the way to Kaiser Fountain Hospital, where she was pronounced dead at 12:38 a.m. At around 12:40, an unknown made an unknown call through the operator to Vallejo Police Headquarters. The man told the dispatcher, Nancy Slover, I want to report a double murder.
Mortar?
Mortar.
Yeah.
A double mortar.
If you go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway to the public park, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger, that's what I said. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye. At one point, Slover asked the caller's identity and location, but he continued uninterrupted. The call was later traced to a payphone at 20 Lumine Tuolumne?
Tulumne.
Let me see.
Tuolumne?
Tulum? I'm gonna go with Tulum.
Maybe Tulum. That sounds better.
Okay, payphone at Tulum Street and Springs Road, which was just a few blocks away from the Vallejo Sheriff's Office.
Why do they got stupid words in this place? Where's this at? California?
San Francisco.
That makes sense.
But you want to move there.
He wants to go to California.
Not if I can't pronounce anything that's there. Like, what road do you live on? I don't even know how to fucking say it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tulum. It's Chilam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The police dispatcher later told detectives that the man spoke in a calm, consistent, and almost scripted fashion as if he was reading from notes, and he sounded mature and without accent. The investigation of Vallejo Police Department case number 243146, did that right, focused heavily on Maju's eyewitness account of the attack and his description of a gunman who walked up silently to the car and began firing. He maintained his version of events throughout all his recorded interviews. Police worked on the assumption that Darlene Ferrin possibly knew the killer, basing this on the fact that several calls were made to Darlene's home shortly after the murders, which were answered by her friends while the caller remained silent, and also reports made to police by her close friends who claimed Darlene might have been stalked or that someone had made unwanted advances towards her in
because this dude obviously had a type because they're both ugly ass bitches
with poofy hair
and scrunchy faces.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a type. He liked both them girls. He's like, if I can't have them, nobody will. Meh.
And they were both with dudes while it happened.
With dudes. They were with dudes. Not chicks, but dudes. Just clarifying.
You don't know what their gender is.
Who are you to assume their gender?
Anyways, some including Robert Graysmith, who would later write his own account of the Zodiac murders, contends that Ferrin knew her killer. However, many investigations believe that this was never the case, and her own husband, Dean Ferrin, had stated that she showed no fearful behavior or anxiety during the time leading up to her murder. The stalker in question was believed to be a local man from Vallejo, who had shown a great amount of interest in Darlene, but had been rebuffed several times by her and did not take the rejection well.
Rejection?
well.
Did not take the rejection well.
He was eventually tracked down by detectives who confirmed the man was watching fireworks with his wife on the night of July 4th and was at home with her at the time of the murders. The July 1969 letters. Several weeks after the murder of Darlene Ferrin, the San Francisco Chronicle, Vallejo Times, Herald, and San Francisco Examiner each received a letter on July 31st, 1969. The author claimed responsibility for Vallejo shooting of Michael Maju and Darlene Ferrin, as well as that of David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen.
Man, that's a lot of words.
Yes, that was...
You just said a lot of words.
Yes. Accompanying each letter was 1/3 of a cryptogram, said that right, which...
I'm glad that every word you get right. You're like
yes, I said that right.
I did. I said it right. You guys interrupted me. Which was to be as instructed by the letter published on the front page of each news. God dang it! It's always the simple words.
Is it broadcast?
It's each.
Each?
Each.
Okay.
Each newspaper. No.
Sure, it's probably to say something like Each. Each newspaper
by August 1st By August 1st, each letter was worded slightly different, but all contained the same facts and intimate knowledge of the crime scene of both the Lake Herman road attack and the shooting of Blue Rock Springs. The writer promised more murders if his demands were not fulfilled. Each letter ended with a symbol, that of a crossed circle, which would soon become the Zodiac's distinctive signature. The first letter transcribed was the one sent to Vallejo Times Herald. Dear editor, I am the killer of two teenagers. I say it like that. Two teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman, and the girl last 4th of July. To prove this, I shall state some facts which only I, plus the police, know. Christmas, one name. 4th of July, one girl was wearing patterned pants. 2, boy was also shot in knee. 3, brand name of ammo was Western. Here is a cipher, or that is part of one. The other two parts have been mailed to the SF Examiner, plus the SF Chronicle, San Francisco, if you guys didn't know. I wanted to print
really,
this.
I didn't think it was San Francisco. I thought it was like, I don't know, Sunfucker.
I want you to print this cipher on your front page by Friday afternoon. It says Friday afternoon. I wonder if they mean Friday. August.
It's probably just abbreviated, honey.
No, it says fry, like French fry. It's got a Y at the end. By August 1. By August 169. If you do not do this, I will go on a kill rampage. Fry night. That, it says fry again. I'm pretty autocorrect. Friday night. That will last the whole weekend. I will cruise around and pick off all stray people or couples that are alone, then move on to kill some more until I have killed over a dozen people. The letter ended with a cross circle design. The weapon used by the killer was...
It's a cross circle.
Oh. The weapon was used by the killer was The weapon used by the killer was manufactured with an 8-round magazine, and the killer fired at least 9 shots without reloading, which contradicted the killer's subsequent claim that the attack was committed with a 9mm Luger, while a 32-round extended magazine for the Luger had been available for some time. Vallejo police believe the weapon was actually a 9mm Browning high power, which carries 13 rounds in its factory magazine, although the weapon could have been one of several 9mm handguns handguns available at the time. In a similar letter to the Chronicles, the killer added an additional motivation to publish the code, writing, "In this cipher is my identity. Although, by August 2nd, all 3 letters and ciphers had been published, and the police issued a statement with Vallejo Police Chief Jack Stiltz requesting another letter with more detail to prove the authenticity of the communication. Although the author claimed his identity was concealed within, the solved cipher did not contain any such a revelation. The police checked the letters for fingerprints, but none were found. However, a possible usable print was lifted from one of the cipher blocks. The FBI once again contacted to aid in and it was the belief of the agency that extortion was a potential motive of the letter writer. Picture? Why are you all staring at me like that? What?
You need some enthusiasm in your voice.
I do have enthusiasm. I'm trying to read fast. I'm not good at doing that.
Is that it? Silence.
Spirit fingers.
No, it's saying the same thing over and over again. It says it multiple times, the whole thing. Yeah. Written by Nucleus.
Nucleus. All right, so essentially, this guy or girl, just saying, could be. I think it was that Cherry Joe Bates.
Darlene.
Or
Darlene's
and Darlene.
sister.
They're the same person. Or they're twins. I think it was them.
The twins?
Were they twins?
No, you just said they were.
They might be.
We don't know the story. You do.
Huh? I don't know it that well. I know of it.
My leg hurts. Remind me never to sit like that again. Anyways, that was... I'm pretty sure that's only part of the story because... But that was all that was... No, that was the whole story. Sorry. Yeah. How'd you guys like that one? Yeah.
Thoughts, anybody?
Thoughts.
It was good. I still think you should have went with the Japanese dude.
I will eventually.
Who you gonna do next? You don't know yet?
I'll tell you whenever...
Next week?
No.
What movie are you watching next week?
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead! You've got red on you.
Got red on me? What?
It's from the movie.
I wouldn't know.
Oh.
About to know.
You've got red on you.
Tune in next week for our practical insight on Shaun of the Dead. What does impractical mean?
Impractical means not realistic. It's not
Okay, well,
practical.
I use it the right way then. I think.
Shaun of the Dead. Do you want to give him a quick synopsis?
Synopsis.
Do you want me to do it?
No, I got it.
I'll do it.
No!
See who gets it faster.
Maybe your phone's faster than mine.
Move them fingers.
My long fingers.
Got it.
Shut up. Stop talking.
Shaun lives.
Shaun lives in a supremely and
You can't even say words.
Because she's trying to speak differently.
Shaun lives in a supremely uneventful life, which revolves around his girlfriend, his mother, and above all, his local pub. This gentle routine is threatened by the dead. Sorry. Shaun lives in a supremely uneventful life, which revolves around his... Your phone shut off. Which revolves around his girlfriend, his mother, and above all, his local pub. This gentle routine is threatened when the dead return to life and make strenuous attempts to snack on ordinary Londoners. And that's the synopsis. That was really boring. You can do it next time.
After all that.
This is an Edgar Wright movie for anybody out there who knows who Edgar Wright is. He's
Sounds
done
like Edgar Allan Poe.
He's done a lot of good new movies. He's got a very specific style of directing, which is really cool. But yeah, had a hard time staying awake for that one. No offense, not you.
It was definitely me.
Whatever helps you
it was
sleep
just
better.
the storytelling. Normally we talk more, but it was just reading.
Yeah, I know. Did you guys ever watch The Most Dangerous Game? I read somewhere that the guy like got his influence from that book or that story. I read that story in 9th grade last year. He made us read it, and it was actually... Do you guys know what it's about? Okay, so it's about this guy. He gets on this island, and this other guy who like owns that island, pretty much like... Oh god, he's like... you have so-and-so time to hide. I'm gonna come and hunt you. If you kill... I'm pretty sure it's like, if you kill me, then you kill me. And if I kill you, I kill you. Like, it's a game that he wants to play. And, yeah, he, like, sets traps all over the forest and everything.
Reminds me of a movie called...
Sounds like a game I wouldn't play.
Yeah, that's all
Reminds me of a game called Surviving the Game, or a movie called Surviving the Game, with Ice-T and a bunch of other people. But essentially, Ice-T plays this, like, bum on the streets. They take him off the street, give him a bunch of money, and then take him out the woods. They say that they're going to take him on a hunting trip. Well, they're hunting him. So he out in the forest and stuff, and he's setting up all these traps and stuff. It's actually a pretty decent movie.
It's kind of like, what did we just watch? Oh, Glass Onion.
Oh, Glass Onion.
Just nothing like that.
Wasn't the guy living there, like, trying to...
He was trying to set up his own, like, murder mystery or whatever, but...
No.
He was the murderer.
If anything, it's more like... I don't know.
I was trying to think of something that's the only thing. Cause
The Hunt is a recent one like that. Just hunting humans and shit. Anyway,
if you guys want to watch A Shaun of the Dead and then tune in, like, next week or something, that would be lovely.
Lovely.
That would be lovely.
Shaun of the Dead is a good movie.
I'm about to figure it out.
You've never seen it?
No.
I find that hard to believe. I bet you have.
I bet I haven't.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. I don't know what to say. How do I say goodbye?
Say, join us next week on the Mad Hatchet Horror Hour when we review Shaun of the Dead.
Ew.
Shaun of the Dead, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and directed by Edgar Wright.
Can we watch Vox Machina tonight?
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It makes me want to watch Vox Machina, can't we? Can we?
Maybe. We'll see.
Anywho. I'll talk to you guys next week, but you won't talk to me, so... Bye!
Toodaloo!
Toodaloo!